Hey guys, it's Crossroads here. Today I wanted to talk to you about Robinhood, not the actual results themselves, which were phenomenal. We'll go over those on Robinhood Weekly on Monday. Might do a video between now and then. For sure, we'll do a post on X. But I wanted to talk about the earnings call itself. Now, if you didn't watch, if you didn't listen, you missed something special. And let me just show you this and let me explain. And I want to give you some of the background on this too. So here is the call.
Tanner.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. I just wanted to say you guys have some of the best pricing for crypto on the market for retail. And yet, even then, your take rate is essentially going up quite substantially. Can you give us some insight on your pricing strategy and where you foresee the pricing will settle over time?
Sure. Thanks, Tanner. I'll start.
And if you hadn't guessed it, yes, that was Tanner, Future Investing, co-streaming with me, that asked a question. But it didn't end with Tanner.
Our next question comes from Amit Amit is Investing. Amit?
Never heard of him.
Hey, Vlad. Hey, Jason. Thanks for taking my question, and congrats again on an incredible quarter. Last year, you all told investors that as rates come down, you can expect more trading volumes, and that thesis has basically played out. I think right now we're in kind of a Goldilocks zone where rates are strong enough for your net interest income to sustain itself, but not low enough to take away that income. So is the guide for 2025 similar to rates coming down would lead to an increase in trading volumes, or is there a diversified view that investors should have on the impact of rates on the business?
Yeah.
And of course, that's Amit, the first guy that got to interview Vlad, OG in Robinhood, well-deserved. But wait, there's more.
Our next question comes from Roy from Crossroads Investing. Roy?
Thanks for having me, guys. Tremendous quarter. I loved seeing the rollout of options at the UK this week, and I'd really like to hear more about the international expansion, specifically if future international expansions are going to follow a similar roadmap as the UK launch, starting with equities, building on products from there, and then specific country products such as ISAs and SIPs in the UK. And I'd also like to know if those are coming out later this year in the UK as well.
Hey, Roy.
Yes, that's me. Boy, this was a shock, guys. So I want to give you some background. So first, this was live during the earnings call. These weren't pre-recorded questions. I know it looks like it, but if you catch a midsection and mine as well, you can see us speaking into the phone. Basically, the way this works, well, as far as the technology, is that we were given a number to dial in. And once you're there, you hit some certain numbers and you get in line to ask questions. And we're there being treated right alongside Bank of America analysts and these other bigwigs out there. This, as far as I can tell, is the first time ever that a company has invited somebody from the retail side to ask a question, other than through Say Technologies, which, by the way, is owned by Robinhood. So that's just kind of an interesting big deal. By the way, Evan from Stock Market Investing on X, if you're familiar with him, he also was there. I got to ask a question too. Anyway, all four of us rather, got to ask questions and were treated with the same respect and same regard. Now, there was this was an opportunity that I think was given to us maybe not even a little bit over a week ago. It was something that we didn't know was going to happen. Never in my wildest idea had I ever thought that I, or even Amit for that matter, would be able to ask a question like this. And of course, we got some other tidbits. You can see, of course, there's a full video that they did. It's the first time that they did it with video, and it was set up just like this awesome press conference. Well done by the Robinhood team. But more than anything else, I think Robinhood is trying to send a signal to retail and retail shareholders like, hey, we want to have communication with you. We respect you. We like you. We want there to be more transparency. We see what other companies are doing. We want to do that too. And of course, Palantir is one of those that really paved the way with a lot of their retail interaction with the video live conferencing. There's a lot of similarities with the culture between Palantir and Robinhood. Very different businesses. They don't really compete at all, but they're led in a very similar way. So this was certainly a bit of a shock. Now, as far as the parameters and everything, we are not sponsored by Robinhood. They don't give us anything from this or any perks. Frankly, being asked to do this is enough of a perk. That's pretty exciting. We asked, and we said in this a meeting that we had with their investor relations team, anything off limits that we can ask, and they said you can ask anything. And they kind of shared, how these calls usually progress and what usually are questions that they'll target. But they said ask anything that you want. They even said, we didn't ask this part, but we're not sponsored by Robinhood. We don't have any relationship beyond the interaction that you're seeing, which is great and phenomenal. Love that. But they said, if it's a great quarter, feel free to say that. If it's a bad quarter or there's something you don't like, say that. Just be honest. That's really what we want. Hey, that's what I want too. So that worked out for myself. And of course, thankfully, this was a really, really good quarter for Robinhood. We'll look more into that numbers at a different time, but over 100% revenue growth year over year. They had over $1 of non-adjusted or adjusted EPS. They beat the expectations, which I was thinking maybe they might have a miss just because expectations were so high. Really, really well put together. Now, a couple of other things that I wanted to share in there. So this is a midstream, has a little bit more interaction than on mine. By the way, thank you for anybody that watched live with us. Didn't matter which channel you're with. It was awesome. But seeing this, it might be a little bit hard to see, but it's just awesome having this group of people, not just Amit and Tanner and myself and others as well that are creators and co-creators, but you guys involved in this. You guys excited for us, you guys cheering us on. This wasn't just an Amit moment. It wasn't just a Tanner moment. It wasn't just a Roy moment. It wasn't a Robinhood Weekly moment. This is a retail moment. And we saw some of the shift happening in COVID where previously retailers were known as dumb money, just that's what the street called us, no respect or anything. And the sentiment has shifted. And we're seeing that, with companies, we're seeing that with funds. I think that we're going to see a lot more of this as time progresses. That it wouldn't shock me if we see a number of companies that see now what Palantir does, that see what Robinhood does, and want a piece of that. In fact, there may be something coming out here in a few weeks that you'll see that level of interaction. We'll see. Stay tuned, though. But it's an exciting time to be in retail. I remember when I first attempted to invest on my own. This was back in 2001, 2002. Young guy. Didn't know what I was doing, but frankly, there just wasn't that level of transparency. There weren't the tools either. Tried again in 2008 and 2009. Picked terrible times to enter the market, but also didn't have the time, the brain space, the tools. Didn't know what I was doing. Now it feels like a lot of these tools and now even companies are building things up so that we in retail are, if not on an even playing foot, we're a lot closer than we were 20 years ago. So great time to be in the markets. Great time for Robinhood this quarter. The run up that they've had, it's well deserved. Congratulations to my fellow shareholders. Congratulations to retail. If you have any questions about what this was like setting this up, this communication, this conference, just let me know in the comments. I'm glad to answer those. It was a really neat, fun experience. Hopefully we'll get to do it again. There's no guarantees of that, but it wouldn't shock me if we get re-invited. I hope so anyway. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, listening, subscribing, and being with us in this journey. Really, it's been just a whole lot of fun. And I'm not just saying this to pander. It's a lot more fun with you guys and the community. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And for now, happy investing.